I just got back from work and I really don't feel like cooking dinner, but I'm gonna cook anyway. Today was truly one of those days where I really don't feel like making dinner. I got back from work and I sat on the couch and I could have easily just stayed there. Forced myself to go to the grocery store and I got some acorn squash and I got some chicken thighs. I also got some stuff to make a little salad and pine nuts, which were way too overpriced, but I wanted them, so I got them anyway. I actually don't cook acorn squash that often, but I saw it on Pinterest and it looked really good. Gotta get my scrap bowl. I think I'm just gonna cut them into little pieces and then season them with salt and pepper and olive oil, and that's gonna be it. Usually I only really don't feel like cooking when we have days at work where we cook a lot, and actually today was one of those days that I didn't cook that much. I only made one thing. I made a pavlova and I was hoping that I would only have to film it once, but I do think I'm gonna have to film it twice because it didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. I honestly couldn't get it off the baking sheet. When I went to go put it on the plate, it was like half on, half off, and I kind of had to smush together. It tasted great, but just for the purposes of the video, I'm definitely gonna have to redo it. So for the squash now, I'm just cutting it in half and then cutting it into thirds, or each half into thirds. I don't know, I feel like I just like the way this looks, and I like bigger pieces of squash. I also finally just got a new oven this week. We've had it in our apartment for probably 2 weeks, but someone finally came to install it the other day. It has made such a big difference. Our old one used to shut off randomly, so if I would be baking something, say I put a cake in there, and then I would walk away, put the timer on, and I come back, and the oven would just be completely cold. So this one doesn't do that, thank God. Let's get some olive oil. Because they're bigger, they're probably gonna have to cook for a little bit longer. So a little olive oil, generous amount of salt, and then also some pepper. I honestly don't like this one because it just comes out as really fine powder, and I want my pepper to come out in lots of big chunks and also quickly, so you don't have to keep grinding. So my thought when I was starting to cook was that I would cook the squash and the chicken on the same sheet pan at the same time, but I do think these are gonna take a little bit longer to cook, so I'm gonna put them in the oven first, and I think I'm gonna sear the chicken thighs and then add them on here afterwards. So the reason why I'm doing more of these videos now is because I used to do a lot of day in the life and test kitchen content and post it on my own TikTok, but I decided to start posting that through Food 52 instead. Instagram is really great because you can do the collab posts, but TikTok, you obviously can't do that. And the unfortunate thing is too, if you repost something on TikTok that another account has already posted, then it's just not gonna get any views, so it's not even worth it. So I've been thinking about what other type of content I can do at home that isn't just reposting the stuff I make for work. Okay, I'm just patting it dry now with a little bit of paper towel so we can get it nice and browned. I'm gonna go in with salt and pepper. My go-to is honestly salt and pepper, and then whatever herbs I have at home too. I do have some paprika, so I'm gonna add that too actually. So now I'm gonna brown the chicken, and I'm truly only looking for a sear, not to fully cook it, because I'm gonna then just transfer it right into the oven. Skillet is a little bit small for these chicken breasts. I'm just gonna cook these for a few minutes until I notice that they're kind of browning on the bottom, and then I'm gonna transfer them right into the oven. Okay, not quite there yet. I fear that my timing may be a little bit off. These are definitely not fully cooked. They probably could use another at least 15 minutes or so. The chicken is probably a little bit more cooked than I would have liked it to be, but it's at least nice and browned on the bottom. So I'm just gonna add it now, and if we end up with chicken that's a little bit overcooked, it's fine because I feel like chicken thighs are always so juicy anyway. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil to the squash because it's looking a little dry. The bottom of the squash is getting a little bit brown, so I'm gonna flip some of them over too. In for another probably 10-15 or so. In the meantime, I'm gonna put together a little salad. I got some arugula. I got some pine nuts that were $13, which is insane, but I'm not gonna use that many, and I've been wanting pine nuts, so yeah, it's crazy. And then I also got a pear because I love pear in a salad, especially with arugula. I will say I have been feeling a little uninspired recently just because I feel like January, February, obviously there's a lot of Valentine's Day stuff that we could do, but if there's ever anything that you want to see, then please let me know. Maybe about a tablespoon or so of pine nuts. maybe a few more. I should have cut my pear first so that I didn't have to clean 2 cutting boards. I'm just thinly slicing it into little slices. Oops, like that. Since we're only 2 people, I'm only gonna do half the pear because we don't need that much salad. I also try not to eat as much dairy as I used to, but I do love a little parm in my salads. Not the pre-grated though. There's something like about me that I have an aversion to pre-grated and pre-sliced cheese, and also cold cuts. I will not have a cold cut sandwich. So I'm just doing some nice kind of thick slices here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil and some salt, and then I'm gonna do some apple cider vinegar and just keep it super simple on the dressing. Whenever I can, I like to just do oil and vinegar and switch up the vinegar because the vinegar makes a huge difference. Sometimes I feel like I really overcomplicate and overthink dinner. You can make such good dinners with such few simple ingredients. I feel like this video is gonna be a little bit longer than I intended. That looks good. I think I'm gonna go with my East Fork plates. They are definitely an investment, East Fork, but it's 1000% worth it. They look so good on every food and they're super durable. For me, not wanting to cook at all tonight, this actually turned out pretty good. I do like the series because I feel like it kind of forces me to think a little bit more about what I'm eating for dinner. This was really simple. It only took me probably 40 minutes, which isn't that bad. I love this type of salad, so I'll probably be eating most of it, but I'm gonna save a little bit for Lucas too. I always forget how much I love chicken thighs.